Hello, my name is Shannon Roth. I am with the Division of Physical Therapy Education at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. Welcome to the training series for volunteers in disaster shelters. In this video, we will demonstrate how to use a slide board when transferring an individual from a cot to a wheelchair. Position the wheelchair near but several inches away from the individual on the cot. Remove the leg rest of the wheelchair that is on the side closest to the cot. Swing away the leg rest on the other side of the wheelchair so that it is not in your way during the transfer. Then remove the wheelchair armrest that is closest to the cot. Reposition the wheelchair closer to the individual and at a slight angle to the cot. Once the wheelchair is repositioned, lock the brakes on both sides. Fasten a gait belt around the individual's waist for safety. Thread the head of the belt through the teeth of the buckle first, then through the other end. Make sure the belt is nice and snug. Ask the individual to scoot forward on the cot. Next, to help transfer the individual, a slide board will be used. This device can be used when an individual has a hard time standing up. The slide board can help an individual move from one surface to another without having to stand up. Ask the individual to shift their weight onto their hip furthest from the wheelchair. Position one end of the slide board under the individual's upper thighs and buttocks nearest to the wheelchair. The other end of the slide board will rest on or over the wheelchair. Ask the individual to place their hand that is closest to the wheelchair onto the far side of the slide board. Make sure they do not curl their fingers around the slide board because the fingers can get injured during the move from the cot to the wheelchair. Next, position the individual's feet flat on the floor in front of the wheelchair. Then position yourself slightly in front and near the side of the individual with both your hands on the gait belt using an underhand grip. Then ask the individual to do small push-up type movements using both their arms on the slide board or the surface of the cot. As the individual gets closer to the wheelchair, they can place one hand on the armrest of the wheelchair to help push from. Have the individual perform 2 or 3 of these push-ups to move across the slide board and onto the wheelchair. If the individual is not able to do small push-ups, they can move their buttocks across the slide board by scooting sideways using a series of small movements. For either technique, help the individual by guiding their trunk with your hands on the gait belt. And if the individual is able, ask them to push through their feet as well to help move across the slide board. Once the individual is all the way onto the wheelchair, have them lean away from the slide board so that you can more easily remove it. Make sure to have one hand on the gait belt as you remove the slide board. Next, replace the armrest and reposition the leg rests for the individual to place their feet on. Then remove the gait belt from the individual's waist and unlock the brakes of the wheelchair. Thank you for joining us. We hope that you find these techniques helpful as you provide assistance to individuals who use a wheelchair to maneuver around the shelter.